Welcome to the Sages of Industry podcast with your host, Lynne Brodie. With 30 plus years of Fortune 20 experience, Lynne specializes in strategic activation flow for cognitive peak potential. Each episode features conversations with leaders who have built products and services that simultaneously serve clients, engage employees, and solve real-world problems. Will you be the next global change maker? Subscribe for the latest episodes, and don't miss Lynne's monthly solo series, The Ripple Effect, designed to activate your flow zone for imagination, innovation, and measurable impact. Now let's join Lynne and today's extraordinary guest.
Welcome to the Sages of Industry podcast, where I'm talking with leaders that bring outstanding innovations to the world. While you're listening, think of ways you too can bring business for world good. Today's guest is Graham Stewart. Graham serves as Executive Vice President of Stewart-Fibre52, where he leads the charge in transforming how cotton is prepared for dyeing. A textile veteran of more than 40 years, his career spans from Huddersfield to Hong Kong, and he is now back in the UK. Graham founded Stewart-Fibre52 to prove that sustainability and profitability and bleaching system he created replaces high heat and harsh chemistry processing that's currently prevalent in the industry. The new process results in strong, soft fibers made with less resource intensity, including water and carbon considerations. Today, his team works alongside world-leading fashion brands to implement scalable, low-impact solutions for a cleaner textile future. So I'm really excited about Graham being on the show today because we always think of cotton as, being the best things that we should be wearing, 100% cotton. But we really don't know that how it's made and how it's brought in and how some of it has a lot of chemicals on it that were not really good for us. And so Graham is going to talk about his process and how his process of clean cotton saves energy and saves water, which is extremely good for doing business for world good. He's one that I call has extended his golf swing, whether he plays golf or not, and thought about not only a product and service, but how it also benefits the world. So I'd like to introduce you now to Graham Stewart. Graham, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks for your introduction. It's exciting to be on your pod.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I like to start with the same question for everybody. How did you choose this idea, creation, invention, or did it choose you?
I think I chose it in that my first recollection of Stewart-Fibre52 was back in 2018. I have a colleague who I would bump into in mills around North and South Carolina and other areas, and he made really beautiful T-shirts and in pretty big quantities too. My background is in wool and cashmere, so I've always been in the natural fiber business, and I have my own wool brand based in Montana, but all the production was done in North South Carolina predominantly. And I met this gentleman, and he said to me, "Look, I'm kind of losing a lot of my T-shirts. They're kind of disappearing down the drain somehow. What's going on?" And as you said, my background as well is in dyeing, so my degree is in coloration. And so I've been a dyer for most of my life. And when I looked at the recipes that were being used in processing cotton, I couldn't believe that they hadn't changed for at least 5 decades. It was the same old chemistry I was using when I was younger. And at that time, I didn't really know how damaging it was.
I see. And so when you say, how damaging was it?
Very, in that it damages the fiber particularly, but it can damage you too because this is a very strong alkali. We think about sulfuric acid being very strong. This is sulfuric acid's big brother.
Wow.
It's really heavy stuff. So there's a human side to that. There's also an environmental side to that in that it's very hard to dispose of. And the fiber side of it came to my head because I thought the only thing I can do is remove caustic soda to help my friend have more t-shirts at the end of the day. So all the fabric that he bought, I was trying to deliver it to him without him losing 10 or 12% of that whole fabric purchase that he'd made. So I started working on removing caustic soda, which is used all around the world in cotton. 90% of the world right now, and I'm hoping to change that, is using caustic soda in processing cotton. So that's the bleaching, the preparing for dye. So it's huge. And what I was able to do, and this is me fast forwarding, over a period of 2 years, I managed to perfect biochemistry that had a lot of good side effects, I should say, in that my breakthrough was I was able to reduce temperature, so able to use much less energy in preparation and dyeing, but also a real big one was to use much less water.
Mm.
That was important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what did you hope it would bring to the marketplace and humanity?
So those savings were, or those reductions were very, very important. Adding to that the time that it takes, the labor, the advantages to the mills, and of course, now just fast forwarding a little bit further, we're engaging with mills around the world, which I'm sure we'll speak about. But those mills really appreciate the fact that there is sustainable chemistry that's not costing them anymore, because
Mhm.
that's also an issue in a textile industry that's very cost conscious. But basically, yeah, to answer your question, I think I chose, and I'm pleased to say that in helping my colleague with less fiber damage and managing to produce more t-shirts, that today I'm engaged as well. He's one of my customers, or one of our customers, and he's producing all his t-shirts with fiber 52 chemistry.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So you brought up the mills. Tell me about those more.
Yeah, the mills are very much the same wherever you are in the world. They use similar kind of machinery, in many cases the same machinery. The one of the biggest costs in textiles is the machinery itself. So there's lots of work around the world to say, hey, we can save you time and temperature. We can save you, effluent. We can save water and so on and so forth. But you've got to buy our $2-3 million machine.
Mm.
That's not what Fiber 52 is about. It's about being able to drop in Fiber 52 chemistry instead of the heavy chemistry, drop in this gentle biochemistry into any machine that you have, even if it is 50 years old. And in many parts of the world, obviously, it's hard to buy new machinery. In that, they're working. They're working for a few cents. That's the nature of the global industry, and that was obviously a very big part of my thinking in that it had to be a drop-in solution.
Hmm. Perfect. That's really perfect. So, were you looking to solve a world problem or did it evolve into that?
I think it evolved.
Yeah, I think for
I
a
can
lot of
say,
people it does.
yeah, and you're right. I think for me, yes, it evolved, and it's evolving much faster now because we're engaged with a wonderful company called Acroma. They're now our distributor around the world. They're the global leading dye stuff supplier. They provide specialty chemicals. They have 5,000 people, and they touch every mill in the world, just about. So that's really, evolving us very, very quickly. And I've got to say that agreement between Fibre52 and Acroma has just happened. And the great thing also about Acroma is that they're aligned with us, or we're aligned with them, in that they're very, very much sustainably focused.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. That's really great. Because now they can be bringing up to the different mills that all of the different ones around the world, and letting them know that they have options. And that, yeah, because most of them, they may not know that they have options, and options to be able to look at. And so I love the ripple effect. Anything that's creating a ripple effect out into the world, of connecting people, collaborating people, and expanding the message, to be able to go beyond, just where you're able to reach, and expand your reach into many other areas, and helping so many other areas. So currently, where do you serve? And how many countries? I know who your typical clients are, because you say, the mills. But how would you say, how many countries are you in right now?
Oh, good question. Even though we've not been, we've been in business for the last 4 years. One thing that we did really focus on early is that we know that uh, we know that this is a commodity business,
Hmm.
and we decided to concentrate on the largest mills in the world.
Sure.
Not the easiest, but the largest, the ones that are going to have most impact. And so we've got, to answer your question, 15 mills that are running our process and chemistry every day. And again, with our association with Acroma, that's going to multiply very, very quickly, because
Sure.
another big advantage is the logistics that they bring.
Hmm.
In the, for a smaller company, logistics are a huge problem, particularly in textiles, particularly with geography. We're not just dealing in one country, you know.
Yeah.
And to answer to answer that as well, is that we're dealing in over 20 countries, and that will expand pretty quickly too. So very
Sure.
exciting for us. Yeah.
Wonderful. That is exciting for you. So anyone that's listening, if you're connected to mills, or in processing cotton or fiber, or even in the retail industry, and kind of asking, more. I'm thinking retail clothes, or in fibers, and asking your suppliers, where do you get this from? How is this made? How is it? That's another ripple effect that I think, in always thinking, in follow, and people following through in the golf swing. And I know that after talking to Graham, I kind of look at my clothes in a different way. And right? Because it's not something that we know. It's not something that we've learned, and we want to wear things that are not necessarily harming us, but are being kind of gentle to our health. And everyone's very health conscious, and looking at many, many different things in their world anymore. And now you know that your cotton shirts may not have been made in the best way and the healthiest way, rubbing off on you and in your body. So yeah, you want to be connected with Graham, and finding out who's making the really good stuff that you want to wear, and that you want to buy, which is always great. So, so in some of the things I think that needing to be touched on also is that you know I think it's really important that in the process they've come up with that you not it's kind of what I call the trilogy or the trifecta. It's not only clean cotton, but that it's saving energy and it's saving water. And there's many things happening around the world that's affecting energy, both today and in the future, in with technology moving forward and how that plays out. And so, Graham, if you could talk a little bit about your trifecta. And I have a new little word there for your
Thank you.
trifecta of it, right? Because that's another ripple effect of like the clean cotton and the way it processes and it saves not and because it's I don't know if it's which comes first, the saving the energy or saving the water, or but maybe you can explain that and talk more about that because I know that's something people are really interested in.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Lynn. They're intertwined. Certainly, they're two huge inputs in processing cotton and cellulosic fibers around the world. Um, and to your point, there's also an issue that in parts of the world people struggle with drinking water, for instance. And we all feel pretty bad that we're using water for dyeing of textiles, but that's not going to change for a while. And so I think that our process, Fiber 52 process, is bringing a lot to that world in that we can substantially reduce, in many cases, more than 50%, the actual water that's being used. Also, the effluent. When you do process a fiber, whatever that fiber that might be, then there's an effluent at the end of it. And again, using bioproduct makes a big difference there, and not using caustic soda, which has a very detrimental effect if not treated properly uh, on the environment. Yeah, and you mentioned temperature, Lynn. That's also huge in the energy space. In the If you're able to bring the temperature, in many cases, we're bringing the temperature down from 115 degrees centigrade right down to 50, 60 degrees centigrade.
Wow, that's a
Particularly
big
now,
difference.
yeah, this past few weeks, we're looking even harder at that to try to bring to the market a process or a Fiber 52 process that will allow dyeing without a boiler. You don't even have to use a boiler, which uses all the energy, and that's a massive energy saving. The way the world is at the moment, that really can help a lot.
Absolutely. All the component parts of going into something, comes forth in your cost model, and then how you can offer that out to people in the whole supply chain of going from its inception out to people actually consuming it in the marketplace. And most people don't think about all the steps along the way that it takes. They just know, oh, look at this nice shirt, like on this rack. They don't think about how it got there all from beginning to end. They're like that's stuff for someone else to think about. And yes, it is, but in learning these things, I tell you, I've been speaking with some of the most fascinating people in being able to put this podcast and bring this podcast out. And I love learning all of these different things and all of this information that we kind of take for granted, but and even when we take it for granted, we don't realize we don't know what we don't know. in bringing some things forth. And so it's been very interesting. And so if what you provide resonates with them, how can they contact you or your organization to get started in working with you?
Well, primarily fiber52.com. You can contact us there and we'll always get back to you. We're delighted when people contact us. But also, it may be, as you say, an interaction.
Wonderful. On the bottom of the podcast will also be your information of your website, and any of your social ways to connect. So there'll be the website and the social ways to be able to connect with Graham and his other two founders that he works with. In moving forward. And so in closing, I'd like to thank you for listening to our extraordinary guest. Graham, thank you for bringing your wisdom to the masses and sharing in this fascinating process that you've developed and invented. And if you want to tap into your genius zone and need help doing so, you can go to my website at lynnebrodie.com. That's LYNNEBRODIE.com. And to get my contact information. I'm known for activating in you a new model of leadership and bringing forth your flow zone. So please subscribe, like, and share with others and listen to my monthly solo series, The Ripple Effect, designed to activate your personal power out into the world. Graham, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Lynn. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Sages of Industry podcast with Lynne Brodie. If this episode sparked new thinking, take one action today. Identify a single opportunity within your business to better serve clients, engage your team, and create measurable impact. Then move it forward. For more conversations with leaders building businesses for world good, subscribe and share this episode with a colleague or peer. And if you're ready to accelerate performance through strategic activation flow for yourself or your team, connect with Lynne to start the conversation. Until next time, lead, build, and execute with impact.